aviation policy or the overhaul is the top story today, and my colleague Ronojoy Banerjee is speaking to Mahesh Sharma as we speak. Let's cut in live.
This vision is exactly clear that let's do a transparent and honest and clean government system. With the transparency, we have done the system of taking out this 5 years rules. And of course, 20 aircrafts is required, because otherwise, how will we serve our domestic needs? It is our moral duty, it is our commitment to the people of this country also, that we will be providing you the domestic connectivity also. So I think we have to watch the interest of that common man or domestic passenger of this country also.
There's also concern, Dr. Sharma, that the government is increasingly intervening in matters that should be left, that is best left to business. Giving an example, you mentioned over there of possible, regulation of fares in case of natural calamities. Can you elaborate a bit on that, sir, the thinking behind this?
See, this is an market-driven industry. And worldwide, there is no capping in the fleet. And I have given this data to the people also, that only 1.7% of the total tickets are being given that in higher bracket. We have no intention at present to control that market, but at the time of needs in natural calamities, force majeure, the agitation, see, I think it is the government also, they have got a moral commitment to the people of this country and worldwide people also, that they will stand with the people of this country also. Suppose there is a flood, suppose there is, like what happened in Chennai, what happened in Nepal. Yes, we regulated the price that nobody will charge more than 4,500. So I think it is called for. It is the demand of the time. It is a requirement from a government system.
Okay. So many foreign investors are watching this live, because we are going live right now. And you've said that the industry has grown by 22% in India in this year alone, whereas it's 5 to 6%. With this policy, the headroom for growth, Dr. Sharma?
See, 22% growth is tremendous compared to 12% of our China, 6% of 5 to 6% of USA. And our vision to take our civil aviation industry, now we are at ranking 9 in this scale. We want to take it to number 3. I am sure we will be able to touch it. India has got a strong power of 125 crore लोगों की हमारे पास ताकत है, and we want to use that power of this 125 crore people of this country. I think we should...
One final question, absolutely. One final question then, sir. In terms of the unserved airports, there are 75 overall airports that we have, which have scheduled airlines operating out of it. What's the increase? Can you give us a number, a target that you see in the coming 4 to 5 years?
See, we have a vision. Our Finance Minister declared about 50 airports to be taken in next financial year. And we propose to add another 50 to that.
So 100?
We propose to from 50 to 100. So at present we are say around 80. So we'll be adding around 80 more airports via this scheme. By the next 3 years.
Okay.
So the process will start immediately. Initially we have around 20 airports which are ready to be used. In first phase we'll implement this scheme to those airports. Then we have given a funding of about 50 to 100 crores, creating them as a no-frills airports. We'll be giving haircuts to the state government also, haircuts to the airport authority also. And I think with that vision, we'll be able to develop somewhere between 50 and 100 airports in the next coming 3 years.
Dr. Sharma, pleasure speaking with you. Thank you very much.
Well, that was Ronojoy Banerjee speaking to Mahesh Sharma. Very important takeaways. They're looking at almost 80 new airports in the next 3 years, and he was giving the rationale about the kind of demand that they're looking at. Currently, they rank about number 9, and they want to increase that to number 3 in the global aviation industry. But let's talk about this very big story of the evening. Amid hectic lobbying, the cabinet today gave its proposal for partial abolition of the 5/20 rule, which will enable new carriers like Vistara and AirAsia to start international operations sooner. The cabinet, which cleared the civil aviation policy today, replaced the 5/20 rule with a 0/20 rule. The government has decided to scrap a requirement that mandated airlines to have 5 years of domestic operations to be eligible to fly overseas. However, an airline will have to allocate 20 aircraft or 20% of their total fleet of aircraft which are higher to the domestic sector if they wish to fly overseas. Now, this effectively means that a carrier must have a minimum of 20 aircraft in its domestic fleet. That's not all. The airfare for the 30-minute and 1-hour flights have been capped to 1,200 rupees and 2,500 rupees respectively. There's more. In case of ticket cancellation, your money will be refunded to you within a maximum of 15 days, and that policy will be effective from July. But we in fact caught up with AirAsia India CEO Designate Amar Abrol a little while ago. He told us that the new policy will open up the Indian skies for more and more Indians.
520 was contentious. 020 is more than welcome. I think it's a very progressive step in opening up the Indian skies. We welcome the policy. I would say, however, that 00 or a 010 would have been more than welcome. We will continue to work with the government to push towards that. But we will now very aggressively work towards achieving the goal of 20 aircrafts and getting into international operations as soon as possible. Having said that, it is our strategy, India first strategy. We look forward to connecting India. We look forward to connecting, getting people to fly on our airline. Our tagline is now everybody can fly, and this policy will allow more and more people to fly.
So in a sense, AirAsia has preempted this policy. As you said, everybody can fly, and that seems to be the running thread also of the aviation policy, to serve the unserved and to connect the unconnected airports. So in that sense, does this in any realistic way make any change? Will AirAsia be making any change to its business model following the announcement today?
So as I said, we will be continuing to look at now aggressively invest to get to 20 aircrafts. We are prepared to invest in India. I think this is very progressive from that perspective. At least it gets a clarity of where the norms stand. So once we are clear about the norms, we will invest in that direction and get to there as soon as possible.
And when would that be? When would as soon as possible be?
As soon as possible is dependent on a number of factors. It's dependent
How many
on.
aircraft do you have right now?
So we have 6 aircrafts right now.
Okay.
And we are now looking at aggressively inducting more aircrafts coming into India as soon as possible.
All right, remember, we'll be tracking that big story all day long right here on CNBC TV.